Hello, welcome to Marketing Matters, the show where we explore all things marketing and uncover those things that matter for you and your success. I'm your host, Denise Millet, and my hope and mission is to bring marketing and technology to you in a way that's useful without jargon, complexity, or confusion, so you can grow your business, expand your impact in the world, and build your best life. Today's episode is called Digital Strategies to Increase Revenue. I'm joined by two of my favorite entrepreneurs, Donna Bender and Maureen Edwards, and we'll be sharing our best revenue-building digital strategies that you can employ as the end of the business year approaches. Before we dive in, though, I want to share a quote from Neil Patel. He's the New York Times bestselling author. He's the top influencer on the web, and he's a genius at SEO, and he is just an amazing entrepreneur in the tech space. He says, don't optimize for conversions, optimize for revenue. I bring this quote to you today because although we're discussing digital strategies, I want to draw your attention to the fact that strategies that result in actions without revenue are not truly the goal of being in business. We do love engagement, we love clicks on our things, we love visitors to our websites, but the real key is to result in revenue so that we're always working with those beginning factors, clicks, engagement, getting people to see our stuff, but ultimately we're trying to lead them further to revenue for us. And we can't just be happy with clicks and engagement. We have to work towards moving those potential clients and customers along so that they will become revenue generating for your business so you can stay in business, right? So today we're discussing how to increase your revenue as the end of the year approaches with digital strategies. So we want to redirect your thoughts to re-energize your campaigns and other online activities. Things that work sometimes, but interest wanes, right? So you know how you see something for the first time and it's interesting, even exciting to think about? Well, think of your marketing like that. You have something that worked, brought you new customers or clients, but it's not doing so much for you anymore. Your audience has seen this offer before. It's not as exciting or interesting to them. They get used to seeing it and they skip right over it. It's kind of like some of the little critters that are on insurance commercials. You know, you see their faces and they've been there so long, you don't even listen anymore because you know exactly what they're going to say. So that's kind of, to me, what you can do to re-energize things towards the end of the year. You re-energize your digital work for year end in a way that you present new ideas or new ways to say the messages, change up the graphics, change up the core direction, and then you fire up your audience again and you give them another opportunity to visit what you do and how you do it, what your message is. So today we're joined by my friends and fellow entrepreneurs, Donna Bender and Maureen Edwards. Donna Bender is the president, CMO of the Donna Bender Company, a branded marketing, corporate gifting, and promotional strategy company. Donna is a natural-born givologist and approaches business differently. She has proven that you can build a meaningful, fun, and profitable business by giving with no strings attached. Her specialties include chief givologist, branded marketing expert, gifting strategist, creator and host of the online video series, What's Your Expertise? She's a speaker at events and a creative consultant. Donna is passionate about sharing her proven business gifting strategy with business executives and entrepreneurs to increase their business by giving. Maureen Edwards is an award-winning branding, marketing, and business strategist, as well as a 2-time award-winning inventor. She's built 6 profitable companies from conception to commercialization and has worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs to start, turn around, or scale theirs. Her mission is to take the hard out of entrepreneurship for at least one small business owner a day by eliminating the mistakes, overwhelm, and complexity that derail success and sustainability. She is a frequent keynote speaker, podcast and TV guest, national instructor for small business organizations, and lead instructor at universities and colleges. Her motto is, "You don't need to know everything in business, only what works." So let's turn over to our interview with Donna and Maureen. So, hey, Maureen and Donna, I'm so happy you're here today. Welcome, Marketing Matters audience. I'm sharing today my guest panelists, Donna Bender and Maureen Edwards, and we're going to talk about digital strategies to increase your sales. And so I'm so happy you guys could join me today. Thanks for being here.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us, Denise.
So, Maureen, I'm wondering if you could share your favorite digital strategy that people might use to boost sales as the end of the year approaches.
Well, I'm going to share one of my all-time favorite strategies throughout the entire year. One, because it has the highest ROI of any type of marketing campaign we can do, and that's email marketing. It has a 4,200% ROI. And it's probably one of the most underutilized, not just, during the last couple months of the year, but all year long. And I think that's because when people do this, there are some nuances to it. And some of the things that you will have to tweak at the end of the year is, I think, really providing more content than you ever had before. Promoting yourself constantly with anything is really not what any audience wants. What they want is for you to provide value-added content that is relevant to them, that resonates with them, and then absolutely give them a discount, especially, if you've got a promotion going, you've got that cross-sell, that upsell going, by all means, you want to think of them. But especially during the holidays, depending on your industry, what a great opportunity to give them education that they've never seen before. So let's say you have a health and wellness company. It's all about maybe a theme about how to really take care of your health, not gain weight during the holidays, and maybe some amazing recipes that they could utilize in order to do that. You could be providing an entire batch of emails really that are all within that theme of your industry and what you do and how you can help them, especially at a specific time like this end of year. So think about your industry. Think about the content, statistics, research, things that really matter to them, that is associated with what you do, that it really demonstrates that you care enough about them to be able to give them content that makes a difference. It should be like that all the time, but during the holidays when they're more stressed, they're more distracted, they've got so much going on, being able to partner with them in your tone, in your feel, it's like, I'm here to help you. Here's what you need. And during this difficult time, stressful time, let's partner with this. And that should be written right in the email. I know that it's stressful. I know that you're running crazy. I'm in the same boat. We're all in this together. And I think it's a great festive opportunity to really increase that content, that personable touch with them. And of course, you also have the holiday cards you can send, via email wishing everybody well. And I just think it's a really happy time to make connections.
That's a fantastic idea. I like that. Thanks, Maureen. Donna, what is your favorite digital strategy to boost sales?
Oh, I agree with Maureen about email marketing. And I find that even with everything else, that there are more people that will like something, open something up several different times, and I think that by giving points, giving tips, anything that will be memorable and help them through that, stressful time, I think is really quite useful. And I think that now a lot of things with email marketing, though, is also broken up with a video or a GIF, or it's not just words. and I think that as a lot of us get emails now, I mean, there may be 3 points, and then there's other things that people are talking about, and it just could be a recipe, it could be a tip. But I think people are enjoying that more than just reading words on a page. And the other thing that I actually have been experiencing this is that has alleviated a lot of my stress is by batching social media. And it really was the first time I did this going into, I've batched enough to keep me through like the middle of December. And when I went away last week, to New York, I didn't have to worry about, oh my God, I forgot to post something today, or I got, so it's such a great way to also keep your message, what you're marketing and your message on point, because you could put a whole series together by day, different things you do different days. And I have found that I fought and screamed, and it was not the easiest thing to do because it was so intense. But the fact that I have enough social media now also helped me get my message out. And I just want people to know that there are real good tools out there to alleviate stress. So you can spend time with your family, so you can go away and not worry about, oh, I forgot to do something. So that's my point for digital marketing.
I love this idea.
Awesome.
I have to say, especially at the end of the year when you are running crazy, probably trying to do things that you have held off from doing both in business and personally. I mean, imagine getting up every day going, all right, what do I need to post? It's got to be holiday related. I got to do content. I got a lot of promotions going on. Your entire marketing strategy the social media part of it is done for you.
Yes, and of course you can always still post, you know what I mean? But you know that something is coming out for you every day. And, that doesn't mean, there won't be other things I can think about. And I'm sure you feel the same way, Denise,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel like, yeah, I feel like you want to add value all the time, but you don't want that pressure of having to add value all the time, so it's nice to just have something there as a baseline that you can add to.
Exactly.
If you have something come up or you have an idea, but you're not struggling every day to try to be on top of it every single day, because it does eat up a lot of time if you let it,
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also think we brought up a great topic too here is the integration of the email marketing and the social media and getting all the messaging in there, because as you're producing your social media ahead of time, you could be thinking about the emails that go in tandem with that social media and make them on point for whatever your offer or campaign is for that end of year boost, right?
I have to be honest with you. Today is the 2 solid weeks of my buckets of daily posts. And, call it a coincidence, which I never believe in. I have gotten more clients contacting me over the last 2 weeks than, the prior week before that. And, it could be the timing, it could be the time of year. But I think when people start seeing your message, no matter if they're on Facebook or if they're on Instagram or if they're on LinkedIn, because you never know where they're going to see it or when they're going to see it. I find that eventually they'll see it. And it's another reminder. It's just, even if you're talking about a specific technique or a specific product, it may not even be that, but they saw you. And that reminded them to contact you, that they need your product or service. And that's what I love about it. It may not be what I'm talking about at the moment, but it reminds them.
Well,
Denise, you brought up something really, really important, and that's basically not reinventing the wheel and making it difficult for you. So taking that email content, maybe just shortening it and then just copy and pasting it in a post so that the message is streamlined and
Right,
it is
right.
consistent, and you're not sitting here going, all right, I got to think of an email and then I got to think of posts. Just take a
Right.
snippet of it.
Well, and honestly, it just helps fortify everything you do by sharing that message and repurposing it. So I was also going to mention that it's important to, make sure you're consistent with your blog posts if you do a blog, or with your articles that you do if you're on Medium, or if you're doing podcasts, and streamline all those messages all to tie together, because you can repurpose the transcript from the podcast on your website, and you can use snippets of that for social media, and you can do it all and tie it all together and get it out there without heavy lifting of reinventing the wheel all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, just providing more content to draw more visitors to your website can just help boost your sales and your bottom line as well.
I think the time you save once you have your content, program planned out for a period of time, it frees you up to think. It frees you up to think of other things that you might want to add, or other things, or even time to write the blog, because
Right.
the other things are done already.
Mhm.
So there's definite pluses to scheduling, and it was a process. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
Now, Donna, you brought up putting media in emails. What's your take on that, Maureen? I hesitate to do that because I want my emails to be delivered, and I understand that sometimes it's hard if you put too much formatting or graphics in there for some email boxes to receive that. What's your take on that?
I truly believe that people have different learning styles and different processing styles. So some people like to read words, others, a video is a great way to get a message across, but it's got to be really short if you're going to go ahead and put it in an email, or else your load time is going to be too hard. I mean, you can certainly give them a link to go to YouTube, but that kind of defeats the purpose. You want to be there.
Right.
So I understand, what you're saying. And one of the best tricks out there is to put in brackets video. They are much more apt to open when the subject line lets them know a video is in there. And that just helps get your message out there. If they don't like the subject line and they're not opening it, then that great video and all that great content you put in there is never going to get seen. So use that little trick. But I wouldn't avoid putting a GIF or a video in there for fear of it not downloading, or being able to open it, as long as it's short and right to the point.
Right. I mean, if you're sending from a trustworthy email address, your source, which is your business email, and you've sent to them before, so you're not cold marketing to people you don't know. These are people you know.
Right.
It should go through, but you don't want it to trigger any red flags. So I don't know. What's your experience, Donna, with videos and media and email?
Well, my biggest pet peeve about email is when somebody's sending out emails for their business and it has an @gmail.com. Because number one, it says nothing about their brand, and it looks like it's a personal email. And so I think that type of email could get bounced out of a lot of companies because it doesn't have a business at the end. So that's always a pet peeve for me. And it's like one of those things that if you have a company, why don't you just take the time to have that email address associated with your business? So that's one thing. But I'm a visual person, so I like to see things. And when I first started doing emails many years ago, I used to put a lot of products in, or I used to put in a joke, or I used to put in, very strange holidays that people could celebrate. I had to break it up because, it just was, it looked too heavy, So I find that when you add things, but yes, if you're adding anything that is a video or a GIF, it has to be short.
Right. And I do think you have to include it in there as opposed to linking off to somewhere else, because I think people don't want to link to YouTube. If they want to go to YouTube, they'll go to YouTube. Like they're not looking for that, I don't think. So you have to include it, and so then it can't be that big.
So one thing that I have changed with email, whether you're doing this all year and especially at the holidays, we are so into, putting a lot of graphic pictures on there or holiday wreaths and all these just we seem to up level, all of our graphics. And one of the things that I really stopped doing was putting graphics in my email other than my logo. One, it's hard to open those, when you have a lot of images. The second is, let's talk about the human touch. When you put in your subject line, you should be feeling like you've got a connection with them, like having a cup of coffee. Like, is this a good time? That's one that will be going out on my next email, and it's all about emails and when you should send them. And
Right.
I put a personal name in there. Nobody really sends emails if they're your friend or your family member with a million pictures, unless they're doing a collage of family stuff. But really, think about it. When you get a quick email from somebody, from a friend, are they bombarding you with pictures?
Right.
So I stopped doing that. And I will tell you, I think it's made a huge difference. I have about a 35 to 40% open rate,
Mhm.
and my click rates run about 3 to 4%. And
Okay.
I believe that has increased since I took those graphics out.
Right. I
It,
try to use color and bolding, maybe bigger, smaller fonts for subheadings to break up the text, but try to use a color. I don't go wild on color, wear red or a blue and do that. So that seems to break it up a bit.
I think the subject line is really important. And I got statistics back from my platform that I use. I'm not going to mention their name because I don't need to give them a plug. But I got back my analytics of when people read my emails. And the average day and time is 10 p.m. on Sundays.
Wow.
What?
Yep. And my open rate has definitely increased over, over the years. I mean, it's at 51%. And so I I've changed them a lot. I've made them short, to the point. But I think once in a while, not slipping in to fool them, but, slipping in a video, even if it's you talking about something,
Oh, sure. Sure.
I
Yeah.
think that's also useful too.
Yeah, but I think when people try to orchestrate and make it look like a web page inside an email and they, do the fonts, the different fonts and the graphics looking and the background colors and all that stuff, I think it's overdone because you're right, it taxes their computer. It doesn't look like, it looks like it's marketing and it's salesy. It doesn't, no matter what you call it, if you're not writing a message, it's supposed to look pretty, so I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It sounds like we have similar.
Yeah.
You. Well, thank you guys. This has been wonderful, and I hope everybody in the audience has gotten a great nugget or two to take away from the conversation so that they can boost their sales as they approach the end of the year. And I'm just so thrilled you guys have been here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Happy to be here.
Wow. Great conversation, huh? I love spending time with those two. They really help me focus my energy, and I hope they helped you. If you would like to find out more about Maureen and Donna, you can find Maureen at 8simplesteps.net or Donna at donnaco.com. You can also find information about them on my show page at winwinwomen.tv. And before you go, I wanted to tell you about something new that I'm presenting called the Simple Ways to Make Yourself Findable workshop. It's meant to help you take all the assets, all the content you create, and make sure that your customers and clients can find it when they search in Google. So it tells you how Google records your content. What are the things that you need to make sure you include so that it can be read by the search engines? And then ways to help your potential customers and clients find you when they need you. So if you go to dmillet.com/simpleways, all one word, you'll find out more information about the workshop. The next live episode is coming up soon. I run them every couple of weeks, so I'd love to have you attend. I think you'll get a lot out of it. And thank you. I'm so glad you could join me for this episode of Marketing Matters. I know how precious your time is, and my hope is that you came away from this episode with some nuggets you can apply to your business. My aim is to provide clear, useful info for you so that you can have amazing, thriving business, wonderful relationships with your customers and clients. And as always, if you have any questions, drop a post on my show Facebook page, Marketing Matters. The link's in the profile for the show. And join me here next week for our next episode where we'll dive into more topics that matter for you. Thanks very much for your time.